Hi, my name is Robin Scott. Today I want to share with you a timeline I made with the events that will happen in the story we're talking about. The title of my presentation is called Collaboration Between Mexican Americans and Japanese Americans. My story/project focuses on two families. The Mendez family, which is the mom and the dad here, and here's one of their daughters, and the Munemetsu family, which is this Japanese family, but they have other children that I don't have pictures of. The Mendez family is a combination of Mexican ancestry and Puerto Rican ancestry. Gonzalo Mendez, which is this man right here, was born in Mexico, but he came to the United States as a child and sometime in his early life became an American citizen. His wife, Felicita Mendez, was born in Juncos, Puerto Rico, and immigrated in the 1920s. Together their family had 3 children. This is their daughter Sylvia, and they had 2 boys named Jerome and Gonzalo Jr. The main Metsu family is composed of the father, which is named Seima, and the mother, who is called Masako, and this is their daughter in the story. Her name is Aki. Both had come to the United States as young adults. They had 4 children altogether, all born in the United States and United States citizens. The oldest son's name was Seiko, who was sometimes called Tad. The next son was called Seilo, and then they had twin girls born in 1935 named Aki and Kazuku. And here's another picture of Aki right here. The story starts with the bombing of Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1942. Antagonism towards Japanese had already started before the bombing, but with the bombing came fears of Japanese Americans helping Japan take over the United States. On February 19th, 1942, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed Executive Order 9066, which ultimately forced all people of Japanese heritage, around 120,000 people, into relocation, or what we call internment camps. Here's one where the mom and the sons and the daughters of the Munemetsu family go to, and here's where the father goes to in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The Munemetsu family is on good terms with a Caucasian banker named Mr. Monroe. Mr. Monroe helped the Munemetsu family, which was located in Orange County, California, near Westminster, rent their farm to the Mendez family. So this Japanese family here had a farm. They raised agriculture like asparagus, and they rented their farm to this couple and their children called the Mendez. They had lived in Santa Fe, California before they came to the Mendez farm. The Mendez family are happy to be the boss of a farm that raises asparagus and other produce. The internment for the Munemetsu family is very difficult. The father, Seima, which is right here, was sent to a different camp than his wife and children. He is sent to this camp in Santa Fe, where 4,555 men are incarcerated behind wire fences and forced to live in roughly made barracks. The camp is a place where the government officials placed Japanese that they feared the most. Because the Munemetsu family owned land via their son Seiko, he, Seima, was considered a dangerous individual. Can you believe that? Owning land makes you a dangerous individual. A short time later, Masako Munemetsu, the mom, and her sons, Seiko and Seilo, are sent to Poston, Arizona. This becomes one of the largest internment camps with roughly 1,700 people. The girls, Aki and her little sister, or twin sister, don't go initially to the camp because they have come down either with measles or chicken pox, and they are hospitalized until they recover. A nurse, after they recover, chaperones them and they reunite with their mother in Poston, Arizona. At 6 or maybe even 7 years old, this must have been a trying time for Aki and for Kazuko. Through resilience, education, and generosity, the Mune Metsu family survives a horrendous incarceration which lasts 3 years. They probably went, if you look here, the first Japanese internment camp opened in Manazur in 1942. So they probably went like in May or June of that year. When Sylvia Mendez's aunt takes her, this is Sylvia, and her 2 brothers and her 2 cousins to the Westminster School, which is here, see the nice trees and the nice buildings, to register for school, they find that the fair-skinned cousins can enroll, but the Mendez children with dark hair and brown skin are not allowed to enroll. They are told to enroll in the Mexican school called Hoover School, located in the barrio farther away from their farm. The school is definitely second class and not the best place to get a good education. There's all kinds of flies, the books are all tattered, just not a very good school. Mr. Gonzalo Mendez, this man over here, has dreams for his children, graduating and being successful in life. When Sylvia's aunt informs Mr. Mendez of the problems of enrollment, he tells her not to worry. There must be a misunderstanding. Later, he himself goes to enroll the children, and after talking to the superintendent and the school board, he gets told the same thing. Quote, his children must go to the Mexican school, which is this Hoover School. And this picture right here, I don't know if you can see it very well, is it says Hoover School 1944 first grade class, teacher Miss Alice Johnson. I think this is where Sylvia, she's one of these children, but I could never figure out which one she was. The children eventually go to the second class Hoover School, but the parents are not happy, and they try to get others to join them in a fight against discrimination and the separation of races in school. Most minority people are scared to join the fight. You don't want to lose your job. Gonzalo finally gets 5 other Mexican American fathers to unite with him, and using the finances raised mostly by his wife, see this cute little girl on the tractor, his wife? She runs the farm, files a lawsuit. Mendez files a lawsuit on March 2nd, right here, called the Mendez versus Westminster. Gonzalo Mendez hires an attorney named David Marcus to help him. Other organizations help too, including the National Association of Colored People, American Jewish Congress, the Japanese American Congress League, and the American Civil Liberties Union. The case starts with on July 5th, 1945, with Judge Paul J. McCormick presiding. During the case, they hear racial reasons why they're not allowed to attend this Westminster school. Sylvia, the young girl, at times cannot believe what the school officials say during the trial. There are some outright lies and blatant feelings of prejudice. After all the testimonies, the judge takes months to decide the case, but eventually, on February 18th, Gonzalo Mendez becomes the victor of his lawsuit. Just a detour from the court case, I want to discuss how the Mendez family is helping the Mu-Ne-Metsu family. Each year, this father guy, Gonzalo Menzu, drives 250 miles to pay the rent here at Poston. He fears that the money will be stolen if he puts it in the mail. He hand delivers the money to the mother, Masako Mu-Ne-Metsu. On one trip, he takes his daughter, Sylvia. Sylvia is anxious to meet Aki. Sylvia wants to meet Aki, so she can let her know that she's taking care of the beautiful doll she discovered in the top of the closet. The girls write letters back and forth. For the Mune-Metsu family to have not lost their farm, but to be making money on it while away, is a huge blessing that the Mendes family is providing. I must add, too, when the Munemetsu family finally gets to come home, they are happy to see that their farm looks just like when they left. The Mendes family took very good care of it. I read someplace that the two families stay on the farm together so that the final harvest of asparagus can be completed, and the Mendes family will have enough money to move back to Santa Ana. Sylvia and Aki become lifetime friends. Back to the court case from Westminster School. The school is not happy with the verdict, and they appealed to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. On April 15th, On April 15th, 1947, the Mendes family wins again, and several months later, the governor, Earl Warren, repeals all state laws that separated children based on race, ethnicity, or language. Though opposed because of their nationality, the Mendes family laid the foundation for non-segregated public schools. This later led to the Brown versus Board of Education, in which the Supreme Court stated that segregation in schools is unconstitutional. Things that were significant to me as I learned about the struggle of two minority families. Number one, I was inspired to learn about the mother, this lady here. Sorry, Rachel. Her name is Felicitas, and her influence in the struggle for non-segregated schools. She was the one who told her husband when he came home dejected after talking to the superintendent and the school board to fight this. She's the one who said, "We've got the money, fight it." Felicitas was the one who shouldered the farm work. Obviously, she's driving the tractor. She shouldered the farm work that paid for the court case expenses, and they were expensive. Gonzalo was often gone from morning until after sunset trying to organize things for the court case. She's the one who drove the tractors, supervised the workers on the farm, while still managing to take care of their 3 children, probably under the age of 10. I reflected on how Felicitas had learned her attitude to fight from her father, who had come to America from Puerto Rico as a young person, and had to fight injustice as an abused farm worker. He had to stand up to fight against poor treatment of minority farm laborers. His example was a strength to her as she had to fight a new battle for her children's right to get a good education. Basically, the Mendes family staged the fight for all children of minority races. That being said, it could have never happened unless they had the financial ability which the Munemetsu family farm afforded them at this time. Number 2, I was impressed that the Munemetsu family, this family here, were so generous after enduring their 3 years of internment. When they returned to their farm, they allowed 3 other Japanese families that were also being freed from the incarceration to live on their farm and get their feet under themselves. These 3 families had lost everything because of being sent to the internment camp. I was touched as I heard Janice, who is these guys' granddaughter, in a podcast tell about her experience when she went to her grandfather Seima's funeral. People came up to her and said, quote, "You know, your grandfather really helped us when we needed help," end of quote. The Munemetsu family really tried to use resilience, education, and generosity to be their motto. Number 3, I wanted to shout hooray and say, of course, when I read at the end of the Sylvia and Aki book, and I quote, "Only 10 people were convicted of spying for Japan during World War II, and all of them were white. Not a single Japanese American citizen was found to be disloyal to the United States," end of quote. Japanese Americans loved America. They were loyal people. It sure cost the United States a bundle to incarcerate 120,313 Japanese Americans. Someplace I learned that 70% of these incarcerated people were actually American-born citizens. It was devastating financially to these people as they lost their homes, their property, their businesses, basically everything that they couldn't carry in a suitcase to the incarceration camps. All because people were being racist, having feelings of war hysteria, and failure of political leadership to protect them. I I hope you enjoyed my presentation and learned something new today. Thank you.